when you were looking at colleges,
Yes.
how much did your mom influence your decision to come here, and what other options did you have when you were figuring all that out?
Um, she she was actually somewhat against it at first because she knew everything that went on here. Um, so when I became interested, that was after Coach Benson had called me on July 1st, and I thought about continuing the military tradition in my family. Both my parents were enlisted Air Force, um, and I have other relatives that were in other branches of the military. So I thought that would be cool to continue that tradition. So
What were some other options you were mulling at that point?
I was considering TCU and Dartmouth just because I had connections there. But this ended up being the best option.
And to have a breakout year like this, and obviously you've been at this level for a while, what has changed that's allowed you to set some of these marks now that, what's the counter for this improvement?
Um, Honestly, I think the commitment this year has been a lot more intense. My freshman and sophomore year, I was worried about a lot of just little freshman things, academy things, and I've been able to focus on running more this year, and that's it's been a lot of fun.
And what was that like last week to win that race?
A complete surprise. My coach and he talked me through a lot of it. He was like, altitude works very similar to heat, so just go out there. We'll keep you cool. You'll be fine beforehand. Just get out there and run your best. You're ready for a big PR. So, yeah, I just went out there. Honestly, that was probably the race of my life. I just felt really good going into it and knew I was going to run fast. Winning, that was more of a surprise. So,
What was the temperature?
it was probably like high 70s, low 80s. It was mainly the humidity that was bad, but they had the water stations out there along the way, so I was using those quite often.
And how are things different now? Is there any difference training now for nationals or your mind? And is it nice to have no school to worry about as you're doing?
Oh yes, yeah, it's a pretty relaxed environment right now. But yeah, we're just continuing. We're tapering the same way we did for regionals because that seemed to work very well. So yeah, we'll see going into nationals how it goes.
And does this delay your first? It's kind of broken up into 3-week
Yes.
quarters or whatever you want to call it in the summer. Does this delay your first one?
It's just my supervisors are being very relaxed with my schedule. They're allowing me to, cut out for practice or whatever I need to do to properly prepare. So it's really nice.
So is your first
But
one here at the academy? Or?
yes, it's sports camp here. So yeah.
Nice. And where do you go after this?
Working BCT as a safety medical officer, and then leave after that.
Having gone to high school here in this area, and then to have the breakout year like you're having, or have the good year like you're having this year, is it hold an extra special feather in the cap for you to be doing it in, where you went to high school?
It's cool to be able to send all my pictures, all my race results right over to the high school and have so much local support. A lot of people in the running world know who I am if they're from the Springs, so that's kind of fun to continue that here.
Does the mindset change now that you're kind of at the pinnacle now, and there's cliche to say there's no turning back, there's no tomorrow, so to speak?
Are you referring to like the academy? Or are we just coming?
Coming up and these kind of final events.
Maybe a little bit. I think my coach is focused more on the process and not just the outcomes. So I've been training hard, all year, like leading up to this, and it's just another race, and that's how you have to treat it. It's obviously the biggest race of my season, but you can't, go into it thinking it's going to be different just because it's nationals. It's business as usual. So.
Is this the first year that you've run the 10,000 meters? Is that what we heard?
Yes, regionals was my second.
Yeah, how big was that adjustment from, was it the 1,500 you ran before, kind of focused on before? That's a big difference.
Yeah, freshman year, Coach Benson liked to work on speed work for most of us, and then I was going to transition more into 5K specialty, and then Coach Cole decided, hey, let's try it and see how it goes, and it went really well.
So regionals was the second time ever you've run that? Is that what?
Yes.
That's pretty impressive. Awesome.
Thank you.
So can you give us your mindset on 10,000 meters? I think most of us could understand a 1,500. It's about a mile. I think most of us have
Right.
done that.
Right.
10,000 meters is a totally different story. What's your mindset when you run around the track 1,000 times?
Honestly, you can't think about it too much. You try to turn your brain off for most of it. Coach told me before my first one, like, focus on something, really interesting about the girl in front of you, and just cut off everything else. But I mean, with about 10 laps to go, you're kind of counting down toward the finish line, trying to get excited for it. I remember thinking, like, with 8 laps to go, like, this was my longest race in high school, was 3,200 meters, and now it's the last third. So it was interesting adjusting, but it's a fun race.
So what's the funniest thing you've ever focused on with the runner in front of you? Has anyone had crazy shoes or crazy socks or a crazy sticker on their pants? Or?
No, I don't remember where she was from. She had like an interesting shoulder tattoo, so I tried to focus on that. Like, oh, look at all the colors, look at that. But yeah. Other than that, I mean, it was fun. Yeah.
Is that easier said than done? I mean, you're on the dean's list. You're a cadet. You're all your brain has a lot going on. To actually shut it down.
Yeah. You just have to stay in the moment. You can't like think about too far ahead in the race, or you can't let negative thoughts get in, because if you do in a 10K, then that really affects your race, where you like, it doesn't slow you down by seconds, it can slow you down by like minutes. So you just have to stay in the moment, make sure, like, Hannah, you're okay, you're fine, you're doing great, look at the person in front of you. So yeah.
Are you still running multiple events? Like, obviously not at nationals, but throughout the season, were you running?
I ran all over the place. Yeah, I did like 1:15 during the outdoor season. I did a mile in the indoor season, just mostly for speed work, and then a couple 5Ks too.
During the fall, when you're running cross country.
Yes.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. It's a 5K or is it?
It's a 6K
Okay,
for
6K.
women. Mhm.
So you talk about transitioning to the 10K in track this year.
Yes.
What adjustments that takes, especially mentally. At least in cross country, you have a course you can run. You can kind of get lost and whatever, but
Right.
lap and lap and lap and lap around the track. Is there ever
Right.
a point where do you try to keep track? Do you count? Like, I know some people kind of do this with their fingers or something. Laps or anything.
You just let the lap counter do that for you. Just at regionals, I remember like one of my thoughts before the race was like, okay, just stay on the lead laps so you don't have to start counting your own laps. And I mean, obviously that didn't happen, but yeah, I remember like you try not to count the laps for yourself.
With the transition to
Mhm.
the 10K coming during the season, was
Yes.
there ever a point where you thought, okay, let's make a goal, let's get to nationals, or is it more of a suddenly it just kind of happened type thing?
I wasn't expecting all of this success this season. Definitely not. But I was excited. I wanted to be fast. I wanted to make a name for the girls' distance team, because we've been on the rise, but we haven't quite reached that yet. So we're still improving, still getting there. And yeah, I just wanted to, I don't know, make a name for myself.
I talked to your running coach, and he said after the race, you came running back, and it looked like you were just running that hard. You stood up and hugged your teammates. Do you remember that moment?
I was so excited. I couldn't handle myself at that moment. I was just excited to be there, excited that I was able to keep my head, in a good spot the whole time. And I was, just excited that I was going to nationals. I don't know.
You don't really kind of let yourself loose like that very often.
Oh no. I'm I'm an introverted person, so that's to go crazy like that doesn't happen very often. No.